I know right now that they coming off a losing season, so everybody assume that it's a bad job. A lot of people have disdain for the Lakers in general and LeBron James, so that's just part of it.
Don't try to turn that corner.
And it
Don't
ain't got
try to
nothing to
make
do.
it feel like
It ain't
people
got nothing to do
disdain for
with
the
me being
Lakers.
from Los Angeles. It got something to do with me looking at the opportunity and Anthony Davis staying healthy and one of the greatest basketball players ever in LeBron James. And I'm not looking at the way Westbrook played this year and going, oh, my God, he can't play basketball anymore, because toward the lighter part of the year, he started to come alive a little bit, made you see, oh, okay, this may work out the way it's supposed to if they run it back.
Even I think he got some rose-colored glasses on with that one, but I do think it could be potentially good. They got some work to do, but if LeBron and AD are healthy, potentially could be good. Rick and Dayton, you're on with Keyshawn, JWill and Max, ESPN Radio.
Morning, guys.
Good morning.
I got the perfect coach for the Lakers. He's right in front of your nose. It's LeBron James. Everybody says he's a coach anyhow, so might as well put him in charge. That way he can take care of his son, too, in a year or two. He can draft him. They can play together. Thanks, guys.
I actually like that idea. I like the idea. It eliminates a big problem for the Lakers. You can have a player coach. Why not?
What about when LeBron doesn't want to meet with the media after games when he struggles?
That's all part of the package.
Man, y'all look, I understand LeBron is one of the greatest players we've ever seen to play, but this is not the 60s and 50s with Bill Russell, man. Like, look, you do not want LeBron James having that much autonomy.
No, you know what I want him to have?
Coach.
I want him to have that much accountability.
And I would never have, if I were LeBron James, I would never do that.
I agree.
Because
I wouldn't
it
do
puts
it if
too
I was
much onus on me about everything that has to be managed in the game.
But Key, exactly. To me, it makes LeBron so accountable. Like, LeBron, you're the greatest basketball genius in the world. I don't say that facetiously. I mean it. He's like a basketball genius, right? You're going to call the shots anyway. Give him the responsibility and make him own it.
No.
If I were LeBron, I wouldn't do it, but I would offer it to him.
Why would you offer that?
What makes you think he wouldn't be a good coach?
That creates more of a train wreck. That becomes more of a reality
If it's a
show.
train wreck, you go get a coach. It's a train wreck now. How much worse is it going to be than 16 games under 500? Like, how much worse could it be?
That's just ridiculous.
17, get it right, man.
38 years old. You're towards the twilight part of your career where you're trying to chase Jordan championships. Now go coach the team on top of being all-star MVP player.
I'm baffled at you two that you guys don't think that LeBron James and a healthy AD turns things into a good job.
How do you say a healthy AD with a straight face?
Well, I'll tell you.
Well,
here's
because
the argument,
if he's
Key.
healthy, he's one of the best players there is.
But
I don't understand.
If you're, I'll give you a coaching candidate that I think will be an eventual really good NBA coach. Sam Cassell. So you're telling me Sam Cassell, Sam I am, in his first year having an opportunity to coach, has to come into a web of lies and figure out right from the beginning, who do I align myself with? Now, you guys say LeBron James, okay? Okay, so I get myself aligned with LeBron James and Clutch, but also understand the dynamics that come along with that. Because at the trade deadline, Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka decided not to make a move to prove to Clutch and LeBron that, hey, we're actually running this franchise. So how do you balance all those cooks in the kitchen?
Jay,
that is a good
thing.
But what I'm saying is when stuff starts to hit the fan, whose side are you, like, how does that work? When it's not from the top down, whose side do you have alignment with?
Key. So what Jay's talking about is a structural issue. How do you explain this one, okay? This is why I think it's a bad job at the moment. The right personality could manage it, make it a great job. I agree with you. Unless you believe AD is never going to play 60 games in a season again, and I don't. I think he will at some point, right? Maybe this year. Then you have two superstars, and you could figure out, as you say, the bananas in the ice cream float, right? You got the ice cream there.
Can I just interrupt you for one second? Because you said the right personality. So now you're telling me I don't just need to coach on the floor, which is enough within itself. You're telling me I need to be a politician.
No, well,
and I need to manage all these different personalities.
I want to get to your point. So Jay is pointing to a structural issue, and this is what it is. Jeannie's besties with Linda Rambis, Kurt Rambis' wife, right? Kurt Rambis does sit in on some of these meetings, right, and has a lot of influence as a result of the relationship with the owner of the team. So isn't that structurally an issue with the Lakers that's going to factor in to any coach's kind of experience and make it a lesser one? It is a kind of a mess that way, is it not, Key?
If you are the coach and you believe that that is the structure in place and you don't have any say, then yeah. But I don't believe that a coach, that Linda Rambis and Kurt Rambis trumps a coach in LeBron James on the decision-making along with Jeannie Buss.
That's what I mean about the personality,
that.
Jay. If you had a Pat Riley type who, yes, politician, no, a good bedside manner to deal with the owner,
Max,
and also the force of personality
Max,
to get the team
you can't just
together.
throw out Pat Riley type. Pat Riley is one of the greatest coaches.
They've been looking for Pat Riley's for years.
Pat Riley type to you?
Well, actually, you brought up a guy who's interesting. Not exactly Pat Riley, but an interesting personality who's shown the ability to run a team pretty well in Utah.
And Quinn Snyder, but Quinn Snyder just said he's less interested in the job.
I understand. It doesn't mean he wouldn't take the job under certain conditions, right, or circumstances. We don't know. But there are, like, I think we fail when we start to say, who's it going to be? Because now we're talking about established people that we know. It may be someone we're not thinking about, an assistant somewhere. You know, who knows?
Jay, why would Quinn Snyder be interested in a job and he has a job? Why would he be interested in a bad Laker job if he has a job? Interested at all, Mr. Williams?
Well, because, look, the Lakers is one of the most pristine franchises in the history of sports.
Okay. I just wanted to ask you that. That's all.
But that's okay. Like, everybody knows that. It doesn't mean it's being ran properly right now, right? It's like it's a Ferrari that when you open up the hood, you're like, damn, this engine it just stinks.
Yeah,
like it's not working properly.
Cowboys
so I have to put
have gone
a
through
lot
that.
of money into this engine to make sure I get it right, and the chances doesn't mean you're going to be successful.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.